And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, author Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome to the show today USA Today bestselling author Luke Dumas, here to give us the inside scoop on his brand new book, The Paleontologist. Luke, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah.
So The Paleontologist is an atmospheric mystery and thriller, supernatural thriller about a tortured paleontologist named Simon Neely, who has just returned to the Hawthorne Museum of Natural History to be their director of paleontology and dinosaur curator. But he has some history with this museum. It's actually where his little sister Morgan vanished when they were just kids. And he was supposed to be watching her as they walked around the museum. And he's carried this guilt with him for years. So he's come back to take this job, but also to try to find his sister after all these years, or find out what happened to her. But once he gets there, strange things start happening. He is hearing strange animal noises that no living animal could have made, bloody footprints on the floor that really could only belong to a dinosaur. And he starts to suspect that the museum may be haunted by prehistoric spirits.
Whoa. Well, I cannot wait to talk to you about this, Luke, because we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to get into every delicious, terrifying detail. But first, I just want to welcome everybody. So we are broadcasting live to 6 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So, hey, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday, because Monday can be murder. We're going to make it a little less painful for you and get your week off to a killer start. So if you're new here, featured authors, you get to ask them anything. So ask Luke about this dinosaur book, his fascination with dinosaurs. Ask him about his writing process. This is book number 2 for Luke. We have a lot to talk about. So no matter what you're wondering, just get those questions going in the comments. So we have Randy joining us from YouTube. He says, hi, Sarah. Hi, Luke. Thank you for joining us tonight. Randy, good to see you. We have Renee joining us from Facebook. She's saying, hi, Sarah and Luke from chilly Southeast Florida. So Luke actually just moved from Florida to San Diego. So Renee, you're picking up on those Floridian vibes, you warm weather people. So Luke, let's jump into some questions. Oh no, Renee says I'm cutting out. I'm sorry about that. I hope it's back now. We have Robin joining us from Facebook saying, hello, Sarah and Richard. Welcome, Robin. Great to see you. So look, let's dive right into this. Robin's saying, I thought you were greeting someone else in the audience, Robin. She's saying, no, Luke, I thought you had a friend named Richard in the audience. Okay, perfect. Luke, so let's dive into this, because the book has earned so much praise. Luke, AKA your code name is now Richard. Tell us about, how the heck did you come up with this idea? Have you always loved dinosaurs? Are you a secret Ross Geller? Did you watch Jurassic Park and think, I've got to have my own dinosaur? Tell us the inception point. Tell us all the things.
That's exactly right. All of those things are right. I have been just obsessed with dinosaurs since I was a little kid. I was just one of those kids that everything they owned had a dinosaur on it, all their clothes and the posters on the wall. And I really never grew out of that, like many kids do. I mean, I always just continued to love them, just find them so fascinating, and mysterious. I mean, they were always such a great escape for me, in the way that fantasy or dragons or magic might be for someone else. I mean, just a wonderful world to escape to. And I loved Jurassic Park. I mean, that is a movie that I watched so many times as a kid. And I knew I wanted to do something like that. I was so inspired by it. The book is great too, once I was a little older and read that. And I wanted to write something that featured dinosaurs, that was for adults and not kids. and that brought them back to life in some way. But that was, not just copying Jurassic Park, that brought something a little bit different. And I thought about it for years, honestly, and thought, I'll never come up with something as good as Jurassic Park. But finally, I just had this idea, well, why don't you could bring them back as ghosts. And that's a way to see them come alive in a way, rather than sort of the sci-fi, more of a ghostly horror or mystery element. And once I had that idea, that was the real inception point. I started building out this story and this haunted paleontologist who's coming back to this creepy Gothic museum that's been closed for the pandemic. Dark nights spent in the museum, and then it started to take on as many people have pointed out, sort of night at the museum vibe, but with more of a mystery and horror element. And so that was really exciting to be able to explore my childhood love of dinosaurs through this book.
Well, it's funny, right? Because you said you also loved dragons and magic, but dinosaurs are actually real. I mean, so it's interesting that the two of these things are sort of, more imaginary, and one actually is more historical. What do you like about dinosaurs? Like, what is the fascination?
I mean, they are real. We know they existed, but in a way, we don't really know that much about them. There's so much we can't be certain of. So they are as mysterious to us as something fantastical, I think. And to me, they were just, again, that escapism. Like when I think about the dinosaur, the prehistoric world, it's such a strange world. It's full of creatures we don't necessarily understand. They might be frightening, they might be cool, landscapes that don't exist today. And it's a world apart from our own. Like, if you are in the prehistoric world, you're not thinking about what's going on at work or what's going on at home. Like, you are maybe there trying to survive, a dinosaur coming at you, or trying to find food. And anyway, I always loved the escapism of that, and just being able to read books or watch these movies and sort of just melt into that world and just be surrounded by these amazing creatures.
Fascinating. Renee wants to know, is your first book, because this is book 2, is your first book about dinosaurs too, Luke?
My first book is definitely not about dinosaurs. No, A History of Fear is more of sort of a mystery thriller with a horror element, with sort of a little bit of a demonic element, set in Edinburgh, Scotland, the Scottish capital, which is a place I love. Again, an eerie and atmospheric book, but no dinosaurs in that one.
No dinosaurs. So it's interesting, because thank you for the great question, Renee. So I was a little kid who was also fascinated by dinosaurs. And my favorite dinosaur was the T-Rex. What was your favorite?
By far, my favorite was the Triceratops.
Why? What do you love about Triceratops?
Oh man, I mean, he's just so cool. But also, I really liked that Triceratops was an herbivore. It ate plants. It wasn't out to hurt anyone, but it was also very fierce. It has these, big horns on its head and on its nose, and it fought. If a T-Rex, it was prey for T-Rex, but it was quite a fearsome defender of its herd, and it could defend itself. And I always loved that about it, that it wasn't a pushover, but it also was, it was peaceful.
A peaceful, gentle giant but also fearsome looking. So true. Renee would like to know, Luke, why did you move to San Diego? Yeah, tell us about this cross-country move of yours.
Yeah, so I'm actually from San Diego originally. Grew up here until I was about 13 and moved away to Arizona. And after that, I've lived in a few different places. I went to college in Chicago. I went to graduate school in Scotland. Ended up coming back to San Diego for about 8 years, and then moved away again during the pandemic to Florida. But recently returned. I just love it. It feels like home. I love the weather. I love the Mexican food. Can't keep me away from this place for too long. It's a wonderful place to live.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love Mexican food too. And I did not get full credit. Renee was asking what was your favorite dinosaur? Renee, tell us what your favorite dinosaur is, because now we know Luke's favorite and my favorite. Oh, Tina saying she thinks that they are the best dinosaurs after all. Are you saying T-Rex, Tina? Or are you saying Triceratops? Because I'm over here Team T-Rex and Luke is Team Triceratops. So Tina, you got to tell us where you're coming in on. Um, Luke, you referenced some of this incredible praise, and I can't wait to get into it, comparing your work to Night of the Museum. So let's take, first of all, this from Barnes and Noble, because everybody, Luke's book was a Barnes and Noble monthly pick. So first of all, congratulations on that. And here's what they had to say. They call Luke's book, quote, a delicious and intense psychological thriller with just enough supernatural to have horror overtones. If Night at the Museum meets The Shining with heavy Jurassic Park influence, has appeal, this is the book for you. Be prepared for surprises the whole way. So many fantastic movies there in so many different genres. So again, Night at the Museum, fantasy, dinosaurs, rollicking good fun, The Shining, terror, horror, that sort of deep late night fear, Jurassic Park, dinosaurs and fear with a slight, I guess, fantasy element. So I love how they are talking about how the Barnes and Noble pick there is talking about all these different, all these different genres in the movies. So congratulations on that and on being a Barnes and Noble pick. And y'all, the book is out now, so you can order it from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. So order now and get your tiny T-Rex hands on this rollicking good time. So whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here is the link to order The Paleontologist. Click and order. Uh-oh, Tina is Team T-Rex coming in hot. Team T-Rex. We got two on T-Rex team over here. And Tina is saying, congratulations, Luke. She said she just loves when a book is described as delicious. Me too, Tina, because isn't it delicious fun to read a really good book? Like, you do feel that delicious experience. And Tina's also saying that on that praise and interest for all in one book, exactly, pulling in those different elements, those different genres. So absolutely fabulous. Luke, when you were writing the book, were you actively thinking about pulling in all these elements? Or you're just like, I'm going to write the book of my heart, and you're like, oh look, all these cool references.
I find that I'm naturally drawn to genre bending stories. I think I read across different genres, but mostly thriller, mystery, horror, suspense. Like, those are the things that I love. And the stories that really interest me kind of pull pieces from different areas, crime fiction as well. So, I mean, I think that helps keep it fresh too, because if you've read one thriller, you might see some repeated patterns, but if you can pull a little bit from different areas, you can work them together into something a little bit new that feels like you've reinvented it. And so this book has bits and pieces. There's a little bit of a procedural mystery element. There's definitely a ghostly horror element. There's a missing child. There's so much that it was just exciting for me. I mean, I love all those types of stories. So to be able to bring them together into one, it's a real creative challenge too, to try to meld these things and make them feel like one cohesive story. And ultimately, I'm really proud of how it turned out. I love this book, and I love how it does cross these genres, and hopefully lots of different readers will be able to enjoy it because of that.
Absolutely. I'm really drawn to genre bending as well. I like the idea of not being constrained and mixing and matching and melding sort of my favorite elements. Because of course I read really broadly too, both inside of the mystery and thriller genre and actually outside of it. And so I love the idea of defying, you are this and you exist between here and here. I like the idea of taking my favorite things. I love police procedurals, which is one reason I wanted to, I like to put on my imaginary detective hat and sort of try to unravel things myself. So I really I resonate with what you're saying so much. So thank you. And clearly it is working. Publishers Weekly, praising your ability to, I'm going to pop this up so we can all read it together, for your well-rendered characters, praising the original premise of the book. So congratulations on that. Something so richly deserved. Once again, distinguished Dumas's unnerving second thriller. Fans of Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child's Relic will relish the suspenseful and moving page turner. So I love, again, how they're hitting on so many different elements on the book. Congratulations, Luke. Tina is, oh my goodness, we have so many great questions. Tina is I'm going to get to every single one of them. Don't you worry, guys. Where should I start? Hold on. Okay, Tina is saying she is loving your bookshelf. So yeah, let's talk about that lit up bookshelf there, Luke. Is this for the holiday, or are you just always decorating that bookshelf?
No, it's for the holidays, but it might have to stay because I love it too. I love the lights.
It's so nice, isn't it? I love lights. I'm like, why do I limit myself to the holidays? I gotta twinkle all year round. Renee's saying she's not sure what type her favorite dinosaur is. She said it needs to look them up. Okay, a thoughtful answer. See, Renee, I like that you're really giving that some careful thought in there. Yeah, you don't want to rush your answer. Oh my gosh. Okay, are iguanas related to dinosaurs, Luke?
No, I don't think so. Actually, the most closely related living animal is birds, especially to those theropod dinosaurs. So like T-Rex, the ones that tend to stand upright on 2 feet and eat meat and have the big teeth and small arms. Those are theropods. So those tend to be more closely related to birds.
I did not know that. I didn't know that
either. When I was a kid, I used to imagine that, the long-necked dinosaurs were related to giraffes, and Triceratops was related to the rhinoceros because it had a horn on its nose. But no, unfortunately not.
Interesting. Renee saying your book sounds so exciting. Like, totally agree, Renee. Tina saying she's really intrigued what your answer is going to be. I know we're all waiting for Luke's dinosaur answers. Randy's coming in on Team T-Rex. Luke, I'm getting more and more people over here. Oh boy. Let's take a peek at some of this other praise. So AJ Finn, the New York Times bestselling author of The Woman in the Window, came in with some amazing praise for you, Luke. And I'm going to pop it up just briefly here because he had so much to say. So AJ says, attention, please, Blumhouse. Here is your next feature blockbuster. The Paleontologist is Night at the Museum, reimagined. Hold on, I'm going to pop this up briefly, by Michael Crichton and Stephen King. High praise there. An extravagantly fun creature feature, a shivery haunted house chiller, and an unexpectedly moving meditation on grief. Luke Dumas's uncommonly intelligent novels, evocative and provocative enough for the book club set, sufficiently scary and then some for all those who like to keep their pulses hard at work, thrill me and move me and thrill me again. Congratulations on that. A very high praise from that #1 New York Times bestselling author, A.J. Finn. Tina's saying she's glad that the birds aren't as scary as a T-Rex, though. Some birds kind of are scary, though. Some of those birds of prey. I mean, I love birds, but yes, I think we're all, exactly. At least they're not coming for us. Renee wants to know, what are you reading, Luke?
So I'm currently reading a book that's coming out next July. It's by another Atria author called John Fram. The book is called No Road Home, and it's excellent. It's a sort of locked room mystery set within this family of a sort of televangelist, like a famous televangelist family. And the main character is coming into their home. He's just married into the family with his young son. But it quickly turns very dark and someone is murdered, and it's a really wonderful atmospheric locked room mystery. So I'm enjoying that a lot. But also reading for the holidays. I'm a very seasonal reader. So I recently read The Christmas Appeal. I know you had Janice Hallett on not too long ago. I absolutely loved that book. I keep raving about it. I loved The Appeal too, but I think I like this one maybe even a little bit more. Very cozy, and wonderfully festive and funny and a very fast read. So I really, really enjoyed that book.
Oh, how fun. Um, are you reading John Fram's book to blurb it, Luke, or you're just...
Yeah, well, we have the same editor, and my editor very kindly sent me a copy and said, "Hey, this is just for fun, but yes, I'm certain I will blurb it because
Oh,
I really do love it."
fabulous. So for anyone who wants to pre-order No Road Home, Luke's current read, here is that book, which Luke has just described as a locked room thriller. So the book is not out yet, but it will be. And if anyone wants to give that a shot, here it is. Oh, I see. They already has a blurb from S.A. Cosby, who deems it a grand Gothic story as enthralling as it is terrifying. So, okay, cool. That is Luke's current read. And Luke has also just revealed to us he is a seasonal reader. So interesting. I'm not a seasonal reader, so I'm interested to hear that you are. People in the... Are you all seasonal readers? What's going on here? But yes, I just had Janice Hallett on a couple weeks ago for the Christmas Appeal. She's so fantastic. I had her on last year for the Twyford Code as well. And I really like her writing style, and also how, well, the Twyford Code, how she had, was talking about class and socioeconomic class and different, how that impacts people's lives. So I thought that was really fascinating. And then the Christmas Appeal was just so fun, a fun Christmas romp. All right. Oh, Renee's not a seasonal reader. Okay, Renee, you and I were just reviving. Tina's saying she's just I'm trying to get through my TBR type of reader. Amen, Tina. Amen. That TBR is just staring at me, guilting me. Luke, let's talk about your writing practice. Are you a daily writer? Do you just write when the spirit moves you? Are you a plotter? Are you a pantser? Let's get into all of it.
Sure. So I write my books alongside a full-time career in the nonprofit sector, which I love. So I really do need to be quite disciplined in order to get through all the pages I need to write in order to deliver my books on time. So I write in the evenings, essentially every evening after work, and pretty much all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So it is rigorous, and I keep a spreadsheet of my word count goals for every day, for every week, to make sure I'm on track. I'm very much a plotter. I have tried in the past to just write freewheeling and see where it goes, and oh my gosh, it's never been a success. I always end up right at the beginning trying to figure out what that plot's going to be. So yes, I always outline my books. It's usually it's a chapter by chapter. It maybe ends up being 10 or 15 or 20 pages single spaced. So I know everything that's going to happen, but I still try to keep a little bit of room for things to develop in between, and sort of characters that come forward as being more significant, relationships that are strengthened by the end of the book that I maybe didn't expect, or themes and threads that develop more. And maybe I go back and alter that outline a little bit to account for those things. But yes, definitely love... I love a plot that works like clockwork, and you really see the pieces interlocking, and that by the end you've realized that all those little things that were planted became significant later. I always enjoy that in my reading experience, so I try to create that experience for readers as well.
Tina's wondering if you try to wing it like a pterodactyl.
Man,
I see what you're doing there, Tina. I love it.
It's good. I cannot, and I mean, some authors can, and that's great. I mean, for me, whatever works for you is the right thing to do. But yeah, for whatever reason, my brain just does not work that way. It needs to have a plan.
Alice is saying, you keep track of your word count, and do you have a goal you have to hit every day? Good question.
Yeah, I do. So it depends on sort of what my deadline is. Sometimes I'll work backwards to figure out how many words I need to do in the week, and then what I need to do per day. But right now, I'm trying to finish a book by the end of the year, and it's so my daily word count on the weekdays it's 500 words, and on a weekend day it's 1,000 words. But after a full day of work, sometimes it's really easy and sometimes it's really not. But just having that goal every day really helps me stay on track.
So 1,000 words so 2,000 words a weekend, 1,000
Yeah.
Saturday, 1,000 Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that, and thank you for sharing, because I think so many of us are feel like, oh, it's hard to come home after a day of work and get to get writing, and it's so good to know that you do. That that's possible. Tina wants to know, do you find Saturdays and Sundays to be more productive? She says, I find the outside noise less intrusive on the weekends. Great point. Luke.
I do find, especially Saturday, is the day where I can blow through my word count goal. I think it's because, I mean, especially the work that I do in the nonprofit sector, I work in philanthropy. I write a lot of grant proposals, so there's a lot of writing going on throughout the day. So by the time I sit down at my desk at maybe 7 or 8 p.m., I feel like I've used up all my good words for the day. It can be really hard to trudge through, but on Saturday I wake up hopefully having slept in a tiny bit, refreshed, and it's so much easier to get through that. Yeah, and then Sunday I'm kind of tired again, really looking for a day off. But I love writing. I mean, it might be hard to sit down at the desk, especially if you've had a long week. But once I'm there and once I'm into the swing of it, I absolutely love it. The time flies by.
Thank you for that comment, Tina. Dan submitted a question in advance. He says he'll be watching the interview later because he is still at work, and he wants to know any tips for an aspiring author. He's having trouble getting started.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, like, I want readers to know that my first book that I wrote, A History of Fear, or the first book that I published, rather, was the 5th book that I ever wrote. A lot of authors find that they don't find the success with their first novel that they hoped. And it was really so important for me to embrace that journey and know that you're developing a craft just like any other artist. And it takes sometimes years of chipping away and honing your craft in order to get it to the place where it's ready to be published and shared with the world. And that's okay. And I think aspiring writers shouldn't put pressure on themselves to knock it out of the park the first time. So every book is a learning experience. Every book has value, and I've taken something away and used in a later book. So it's not time wasted. It's just practice, and that's okay. For me, the more important thing was that I stuck with it. Like, it was hard, and sometimes it was emotionally hard to get these knockbacks, but I was determined that I was going to be a published author, and I really believed that I could be with more time and more practice. And so that emotional resilience and the patience with yourself, I think, is the most important part of the process.
I love that answer, Luke, and I haven't heard that before. I like the idea of the term emotional resilience. Thank you. Oh my goodness! Hi, Liza Fleisig. Liza says she loves that craft. You said that craft, like any other artist. She says thank you for sharing that clarity. Well said, Liza. Thank you for letting us know that resonated. Tina wants to know, Luke, do you have a favorite snack when writing? What's the snack?
I don't tend to eat when I write that much. I like to have a cup of tea, or if it's a really long day, maybe a cocktail while I'm writing. But yeah, no. I mean, if I had a snack, it would be gone instantly anyway. I would just.
What's your cocktail then?
Oh, maybe like a Jack and Diet Coke or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, last week we had award-winning author Tracy Clark on, and she said her favorite snack was Twizzlers. She munches those Twizzlers while she's writing. I love Twizzlers too.
Yeah.
You're getting so many hearts up on Facebook. Thanks for hearting everybody. Renee saying that is so sweet, Luke. Tina saying it's not time wasted, it's just practice. I love that. Yes, well said, Tina, and well said, Luke. Thank you for that. I also love these. I was determined that I could be a published author. Thank you for that. You guys, we are out of time. Time flies when you are having this much fun, and we always have fun on Mystery and Thriller Maven. So the book, once again, is The Paleontologist by Luke Dumas, and it is available to order now. So get your tiny T-Rex hands or your Triceratops hoofs on this book, and let us know what you think of Night at the Museum, reimagined by Stephen King and Michael Crichton. So says #1 New York Times bestselling author A.J. Finn. So here is that link once again. Renee saying, thank you. Happy holidays to everyone. Robin saying, I'm enjoying the Costco big bottle of spiked eggnog. You should give that a try, Luke. I love eggnog, Robin. Yeah. Y'all, that is a wrap. I'll be back at the top of the hour with New York City Public Librarian Tabrisha Jones. She is at Cup of Tea and the founder of Dueling Detective. She's going to reveal her top 20 books of 2023, and we're going to do a fun giveaway. So go get that spiked eggnog or Jack and Coke or your drink of choice, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a warm beverage, whatever you like. And I will see you back at the top of the hour. Tina saying, thank you for joining us, Luke. Thank you for joining us, Tina. And happy holidays to you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you for all the wonderful questions, everyone.
Yay! Thank you all.